They just doing whatever. They trying to outdo each other. They saying the craziest stuff ever on records now. And I know we've been on that lately, so I don't want to go back on that tirade. But it just seemed like to me that they almost, it's like these little niggas aspire to almost go to prison, my nigga. It's like they get on, like you see a cat like Young Thug that's making all the money he was making. Now he in this situation, man, where this man might be in jail for the rest of his life. It's like, okay, so you struggled to get here only to go back to here to become worse, my nigga?
So I believe that the artists, you know what I'm saying, like these days the artist is it's changed. Talent alone ain't just gonna get it. You can be the dopest nigga, you know what I mean? It was probably 10 Jordans on the playground. But why did only one make it? Because he understood his books, he knew what his schooling, you know what I'm so now I feel like you have to have a business, some type of business degree if you're gonna be a rapper. So, you know what I'm saying? You need to take accounting. You know what I'm saying? Like all these, a rapper now, it ain't just us putting words on paper. You got to run a whole full business.
Oh, for
So
sure.
you just coming to the mic because you can spit, that don't mean nothing. Everybody rap. So, but can you manage your career? You know what I'm saying? Like, I manage myself. I've been managing myself, but I've been reading my own contracts. You got to understand the wearing tools, the foreign widths, and the hearing tools in your contracts, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to dissect your contract. Okay, you like your clothes, your brand. Now a rapper is a brand. You know what I'm saying? So how do you manage that brand if you don't understand the different aspects of your shows, of your lawyers, if you don't know how to deal with every aspect of your business, then you're not gonna make it in this. You might get a one hit song, but you ain't gonna last. So
And even if you do have attained some kind of success, you gonna be everything gonna be gone by the time you done. You ain't gonna have no money.
because if you don't have a team, you know what I'm saying?
These
Like
people take
if you
advantage.
don't know it, that team will rob the shit out you.
Oh, for sure,
You know
100%.
what I'm
This man
saying?
right here is
Man,
the primary example of that.
Yeah, I've been robbed.
exactly.
I've been shook down in my socks. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I'm s- I'm really speaking from experience. You know what I mean? Like had it all, came in first check $80,000, blew that. You know what I mean? When the shit that was easy to blow. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But
We all did that.
because we had, but over time I learned this. But now I feel like if an artist, like when I'm looking at artists, like I know a couple of dope ass niggas get on the mic and kill it. Dumb as rocks though. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, you going straight to jail. I'm not finna you a liability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's how if somebody gonna put some money behind you, they need to see other than you just rapping. They need to know that you wise enough to control whatever that investment is. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
real shit. Let me ask you this, bro. Coming from the place we come from, man, y'all established Mo Thug Records, man, and y'all put a lot of people from the city on.
Hmm.
You know, how many people was mad at you that you didn't put them on? Because you can't put the whole neighborhood on.
I mean, niggas was mad. Period. You know what I'm saying? Even
Even the ones you got,
even the
the ones
ones
you
I
put on.
put on.
Ain't that
Oh,
something?
Put
definitely.
put a couple
Probably was the
put
worst.
thousands of dollars in their pockets, and then they mismanage their money and do they, spent their shit how they spent it. But now, you try to do something helpful, and here it is. It's a hindrance to you because you done put an uneducated person on that went and blew their shit, and now it's your fault.
And they don't understand they have to pay that money back you initially gave them.
Right? Yeah,
Exactly.
And a lot of them records y'all was putting out, man, was going gold and platinum because it featured gold and platinum people
right,
prominently on them albums.
right.
Y'all really got behind them artists. Y'all just didn't throw them out there. Y'all was on every record, damn near.
Yeah, I mean, one way bus tickets from Cleveland, Ohio out here living homeless out here, you know what I mean? That was the sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, niggas didn't understand that we made that sacrifice for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? A 3-day bus ride, not knowing what you gonna eat or who you gonna stay or what, you know what I'm saying? That was scary. They didn't have to do that. I opened the door and let them in. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple of my artists still thriving off what they got from me. Couple of my artists still blaming me for what they didn't do right 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But you gotta look at the man in the mirror. I mismanaged my money. I ain't blame nobody. I just got back on my shit and became quiet and went and studied. You know what I mean? Because I ain't want to be the nigga on, but what happened to you, dog? You used to be the man. I ain't want to be that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn for myself. So these artists, you put these artists on, a lot of times it don't be worth it because if you're not a well-rounded individual, you're not going to sustain this shit. And sometimes it ain't fun to put on people who going to blame you.
Definitely.
Oh, dog, man,
I was just saying that everybody is not probably going to be as successful as, I mean, not to mean that we not going to work and try and do what we got to do, but let's
it's
face
just the law of averages, dog. Everybody ain't
you,
gonna make it.
you might not sell 10 million albums. You might not sell 1 million albums.
Right.
Your shit might come out, might do 60,000 copies.
Right.
People work mysteriously like that when it comes to music. You know what I'm saying? I could like this motherfucker, not like that motherfucker. No disrespect, you get me? But I don't like that shit as much as I like this. So that's just people's flavor, man. And it's unfortunate that you might consider a motherfucker the friend or the homie that you trying to put on because you believe in their talent but I can't make a motherfucker buy your record, man.
Right.
You get me? I can only talk to the radio so much and be like, hey, man, play this for me. But at the end of the day, cost effective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do for you what Easy and Ruthless did for me. You get me? As I'm a try, you get me? That's my whole intent. But let's face it, this rap game, man, that's why I say, man, I did not want to encourage my son to go into this shit. Who says you gonna have the success I did?
Right.
I'd be love it if you was able to climb up over me.
Right.
I'd be very proud. Like, okay, good, great. You know what I'm saying? All the hard work and determination paying off, good, great. But then what happens when you put a motherfucker record out and he sell 20 copies?
Right.
You get me?
Which could very well happen with this streaming shit. I don't understand how that work anyway. But going back to your, contract stuff and everything. A lot of artists say their first deal was unfair. I agree with that in some ways, but then in some ways I don't because somebody has invested some money in you. Because they don't usually come back and say nothing about the dudes that failed.
Right.
Most acts that record companies sign are failures. I think it's something only maybe 1 out of every 5 actually work out. You know what I mean? They got more failures in the building, so they kind of got to overtax the one that do make it. Now, usually after you sacrifice that first album and you sell some records, you start getting a lot more leverage. But now you're a bankable artist, right? Did you guys, I assume y'all contract situation after y'all put out East 1999 Eternal, I'm pretty sure they went back to the drawing board with y'all and figured out some other shit, huh?
We went back to the drawing board as soon as I heard platinum. Like, I was on that, you know what I mean? Because our deal wasn't the greatest. But, back then, whose deal was?
Hell, nobody's.
He was like, I'm going to give y'all a better deal than the Dog Pound. He like, they getting 8 points. I'm like, what the fuck is a point?
This is
You know what I'm saying?
you coming from where I'm coming from, Layzie. Like, what the fuck is a point? Like,
like,
how much is that in dollar signs?
You know
I
what I'm saying?
the fuck
I'm like
a point is.
Like a point. Like, he be like, I'm going to give y'all 12 points. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what this point is. So I'm like, okay, 12% of 100. Yeah, that shit wasn't cool, but he put the money up. He put the videos up. And I had to explain to my niggas, like, man, we need to get in the door.